Good morning. Even though it's late in the day, I think good morning still stands. Wherever you are and whenever you're watching this, I hope you're having a great day, a great morning, a great end to a day. Um, I wanted to come on and give another insight that I got. Y'all know how I do it. I'll read or I'll be living life, and then something will kind of stick out to me. And so what stuck out to me that I want to talk about right now is your God-given power. The thing that God gave you just before man was even created. He gave you a power before you even had a body. And it's pretty amazing. So let's get into it. So if you're familiar with the Bible at all, you'll know that the creation story goes that God created man, and then he created the woman from the man and all these things, right? But I want to go in and zero in something at the first point. So he created man, and then God does something weird. The Bible puts it this way. It says that he brought all the animals to Adam to see what he would name them. And for a long time, I've been kind of baffled by that. Why would God want to know what Adam would call the animals? He had already created everything in chapter 1. So chapter 2 is him going through the process of showing Adam his power. So when the Bible says that God brought all the animals to Adam to see what he would call them, he was giving a subtle hint, a subtle clue that things are what you judge or what you deem them to be. So if Adam saw a lion and he thought, fierce, territorial, all those things, these would be the characteristics of what a lion is. And so the name of something is its characteristic. To call something by its name is to do it in the same spirit of. So name anywhere in the Bible is talking about the characteristic of, or in the spirit of something. So here we have this idea that from the very beginning you were given dominion over everything in your realm, everything in your universe, everything everywhere, that you had something to say about it. However, one thing that I'm guilty of, I don't know if you guys are guilty of this too, but one of the things I'm guilty of is taking my judgment and making it negative. I'm guilty of taking all this God-given power and just pointing it at something that is not good for me. For example, I grew up this way. I grew up hearing people say this kind of thing. People say, well, I don't have money for that. Or I'm broke. I don't have any money. I can't go on that trip. I don't want to do anything that is extravagant or expensive because I don't have the money. And we say that same song and dance so much to the point where it's an affirmation. And it affirms and affirms and affirms. And since that's the vision and we wrote it in the table of our hearts with the power that God gave us, that's what we experience. We experience, oh, you're not going to take that trip. You're not going to get that promotion. Oh, you don't make enough money. Like, it just continues to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So instead, and what I am working on doing myself is moving from the negative and taking my focus, taking taking the lifeblood out of the things I don't want and starting to focus them in on the things that I do want. Because it makes no sense to continue to beat yourself up with what you don't want, when in all reality, all that has to be done is that you have to accept that what you want is already created. Everything's already finished. If you read Genesis, that's the first thing you get. God created all of this stuff, and before he ever put man on the earth, before it ever rained, he said everything was finished, and he said everything was good. So it is my hope that if you're hearing this, that you would resolve in your mind right now to change your current thought patterns about what you're focusing on. And if it's something that you're focusing on that isn't what you want, drop it. I was given the analogy several days ago about this. If you have something in your hand, you can try this right now. If you have something in your hand and you grasp it, at some point you're going to forget that you're grasping it. But the funny thing about your subconscious mind, the place that you manifest from, will never forget that you've got this thing in your hand. Whatever it is, whatever you choose to pick up, it'll never forget. And there will always be a confirmation or an affirmation. There will always be an affirmation saying, there is something in my hand. There is something in my hand. There is something in my hand. And as long as that is being affirmed, then you can't grab anything with that hand. So what you got to do is put it down. This is a real simple way of describing taking your attention away from one thing and putting it on something else. I know it's not that easy, but this is the simplicity in changing your paradigm. This is the simplicity in changing your life. This is the simplicity of it. And so take those old things and set those down, especially if they don't do anything for you, if they're not serving you, if they're not moving you and propelling you into a new paradigm, if they're not propelling you into a new way of thinking, if they're not giving you any hope, or they're not bolstering your dreams at all, guess what? They are sucking power out of you. They are sucking the life out of you. And I would say, get away from them as fast as you possibly can. But I'm curious, is there anything that you have held on to and you have a hard time letting go of? Is there a ball in your hand that you just can't seem to put down? Is there something that's stopping you from being the person that you want to be? If there is, I would say you need to feed yourself with things that are positive. You need to feed yourself with not to toot my own horn, but a positive channel like this one. I would say subscribe. I would say smash the like button so that this gets out to as many people as possible. People need to know their God-given powers. This is like an inalienable right. And so if you're calling whatever you're going through anything other than marvelous, anything other than fantastic, anything other than divine and God inspired, then you've judged it. You've judged it harshly. And I believe the Bible backs it up that you've judged it falsely or unrighteously. Because the only righteous thing is the truth. Anyway, I love you guys very much. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let's treat the comment section as a laboratory. Let's put some good stuff in there. Let's put some exploratory things in there. Anything that's going to help the next man, or even help you. If you got some problems, put them in the comments. I'm not the only one that's going to look at these comments, and that's probably a bunch of people who have already been through what you're going through. So do that, and I'll see you guys next time.